So I've been seeing so many people commenting under my post about what is this? What does this mean? How do I start? What do I do? All of this stuff. And the sad part about it is that everyone wants to go to other people to rely on their brain for the information. But you got to realize that this system is a system, and the system was created to literally dumb you down so you don't know what this process is about. So you don't know what this means. So you won't believe it. So you think that it's capped. So you think that the people that's talking about it is lying. Watch this video that I'm about to show you guys. This lady is a whistleblower from the public education system. TikTok, this video is for educational purposes only and protected by the First Amendment right to freedom of speech. If it is touched, you are violating that right. Now watch this video and listen to what she's saying about what they purposely do so that you won't understand.
Horrible programs, right? By 1968, the money had gone into all of these programs to get rid of the conscience, basically. Drug ed, all these programs, parents, really, when you see education hanging on the end of drug education, sex education, critical thinking education, red flag. You don't have reading education, writing education, math education, or we didn't used to. When you see education hanging on the end of something, except for driver's ed, which I think is probably pretty neutral, that means watch it. Because those programs, I've never seen one of those programs that was based on absolutes, right and wrong.
But the parents of the children today have gone through that program, so
Yes.
they've already been brainwashed, so they're not going to believe
Well,
you.
yes, they do believe me. Many of them call, and when I do radio interviews, they'll call in and say, I went through all of that. I know exactly what you're talking about. And of course, the teachers know. And many teachers do not like that, did not ever want to do it. Behind closed doors, they did their own thing. Now they're not going to be able to get away with it because they're going to be required, due to the standards that are being set and the accountability, the whole what's going on in Washington now with the reauthorization of the Elementary and Secondary Education Act is nothing but brainwashing. And people, you hear standards and accountability and flexibility, all of this. Basically, the goal has nothing to do with academics. It has to do with training little, as you said, little busy little workers, little worker bees, to have the right attitudes and values towards internationalism, giving up our sovereignty, the needs of the group versus the individual. You know, they have all the group grades now, and
Did they actually
cooperative
ever stop
learning.
talking about being a change agent, how to stop teaching people about basic civics, what the Constitution says, limitation of government? I mean, did they get into
No,
that?
I don't recall that, but I do know that I've seen I attend a lot of in-service things too, you know. So I've seen and heard, you know, how are we going to get away from, and that's in the book. Actually, there's a very interesting article in the New York Times in the early 70s about getting rid of the teaching of American history.
You're kidding!
Oh, no, not early 70s. New York Times article in the book. And it says that, yes, and we're not going to talk about George Washington anymore. We're going to focus on the world, because you have to get these world-minded students, or else they're going to rebel. If you want to put the Americans under a global management system or whatever it is, be very careful you don't teach them the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. Don't let them have any history, because they are going to object when this system is taken away from them. But they won't now. You could take the Constitution away from the American people right now, and they wouldn't care, because they don't even know what it is. They don't know what it is.
Well, they don't know what it is.
It protects them. It protects their rights. The reading problem. If you're so dumbed down, if you can't read, I've always said you can't defend yourself.
That's right.
You can't do anything. I mean, you are really at a tremendous loss. You are totally handicapped, worse than losing both legs if you can't read. They can take you right through the schools, 12 years without reading, just total brainwashing through visual, a lot of visual aids now with technology.
So they're trying to make people weaker readers?
Oh, of course. Yes, that's why they had the whole language for so long.
Which is I always thought was very dumb.
Yeah, it is pretty dumb.